Hello, good afternoon, caller.
Yeah, Pastor Google, a pleasant good afternoon to you and a pleasant good afternoon to the Minister of Local Government, Mr. Faris Alwali. My name is Professor Anselm Libon, better known as Wall Street. Mr. Minister, I have two simple questions for you. Question number one, regarding local government election. Local government reform has already been passed in the Parliament. How could the August 14th local government election be based on local government reform when that law has already been passed in the Parliament? After that election, it doesn't make any difference whether you go to vote or whether you don't go to vote. It has absolutely nothing to do with local government reform because the bill has already been passed in Parliament. Secondly, if I have a property and I have a parlor on the downstairs of my property, is that property going to be charged based on annual rental value, or is that property going to be charged as a commercial property? Thank you very kindly, and have a splendid first rest of the day. Bye-bye.
Yes, good to hear from you, sir. So, number one, the caller said with certainty that the law has been passed in the Parliament. That carries with it an assumption that it is operative law. So just to correct now, it has been passed, it is an act, it is not operational because there's a proclamation clause. The proclamation clause is the tool to turn on the act.
Yeah.
So we bought a computer, that's the act. We have the computer in front of us, that's the act. You had to turn it on now. What we turned on was the term of 3 years moving to 4 years so that we could have kept the existing councillors for 1 more year so that we could turn on the whole computer. The Court of Appeal and the High Court in Trinidad said, yeah, that's good. The Privy Council, in a importantly split decision, said, but the majority said, look, that's not correct. You could turn it on, yes, they had 4 years now, but the people who came in at 3 years, them had to go as 3 years because they didn't sign on for 4.
Okay.
Right? That's effectively what it said. So what we're doing right now is we're running an election using the old law because the rest of the new law in this new computer has not been turned on. And we can't turn it on until after the election because the Privy Council decision made a very important point to say if you turn on the law, you have to make sure there's a separation between incumbents, people who are currently serving, and new coming people. So there are going to be some adjustments to the law that are going to be needed to meet with that Privy Council decision. So caller, number one, the act exists. It is not operational law because it has not been fully proclaimed. Number two, the full proclamation will come after the election because we were told by the Privy Council you have to have an election effectively because they said, look, that 3-year term expired.
Right.
And if they told you it expired, you had to call an election.
Yes.
We took the 90 days available to us, we called an election. The election was at worst case scenario going to be in December of this year. As that comes on now, the choice for people is the UNC who says no to reform. We don't want it. No to property tax, no to CEOs being controlled by the council, no to full-time councillors. They say leave it just so.
Yeah.
But if you are a thinking, living, breathing organism in Trinidad and Tobago, you know local government does not work. You don't have the money, the manpower, and the materials. I call it plant and machinery, people, processes, and law. So that's the first part of the caller's question. The second part of the caller's question relates to property taxes. In the example offered by Wall Street, you have a residence with a commercial property downstairs. It will therefore be mixed use. That which is residential will be assessed as residential, and that which is commercial will be assessed as commercial. That is going to depend upon the valuations division of the Ministry of Finance assessing your property that way. The residential part will be at 3% of the annual rental value. That's $1 a day, $2 a day, $3 a day. The commercial assessment has not yet happened.
Right.
because that is nowhere near ready at this point.
And that is what I want.
Right?
I'm glad that you said that.
Good. So those are the facts inside of there.
So you have a parlor downstairs because that part of the law hasn't been fully reacted.
Yes.
Oh Lord, we're going for a break again. When we come back, we take 2 last calls, and we wind up the interview with Minister. Minister, you clear up everything today? No?
My pleasure. I have a little experience that I'm always happy to share and always happy to learn.